Hey, my name is Marco. I'm a freelance data analyst, and this is a dashboard and report that I put together in Power BI based off of a Forage mock internship that I did with Quantium recently. I have two other videos going through the entire mock internship. It was really good. I really enjoyed working on this one. And I decided to take it, put it into Power BI, and kind of put like a report together into it of an overview of everything. So it starts off, to give you a little background information, it's a supermarket or a wholesale club that's trying to analyze, they want you to analyze their potato chip performance for the past year, and then they also are trying a new layout. And during this trial period for 3 months, they have three trial stores. They wanted you to pick three control stores to pair up with each trial store, and then they wanted to gauge the performance and see if the new layout in the trial stores are drumming up more sales. So basically, that's a summary of the background of this report. So this is the performance snapshot of the annual chip sales. We'll start at the top left at the total sales by month. As you can see, how it trended throughout the year. It's one whole year from July to June. I truncated the dates so it's not as cluttered. But if you go on the points, it's all there. June 2019 and its total sales. So you got the total sales here, how it trended throughout the year. As you can see, I threw a trend line on it to show that sales have been declining over time. And then the next one is the life stage and affluence type. They took their customer base, they had data on their age groups, and they created these categories of like older and single couples, retirees, older families, young single couples, mid-age single couples, new families. As you can see here, that's how they broke it out, their customer segments ages. And then they also had another category of premium customers or affluence type, whichever you want to call it. It's like they had budget, mainstream, premium. Budget is like the low income, mainstream is the middle income, and premium is like the higher income class. So this is the distributions of each premium customer in each age segment broken out. So the from this chart you can see that the bulk of their customers are in the older generation, older segment. The younger people fall off much less, and the new families are the least. Then I have the top five stores by total sales that of selling potato chips. The number one store is here in baby blue at 17,600. And then the top five brands. You got all the top five brands. The number one being Kettle. And then the last chart here is the life stage. And then I broke it out by average spent per customer, average quantity, and total sales. So through some conditional formatting on it to get a nice visual to see where everything is, who's high and who's low. So green obviously is the highest, red being the lowest, orange, yellow in the middle. And as you can see, older single couples spent on average the most money, and average quantity, which is older families, and then total sales, the most was older single couples. So that's like just a annual performance snapshot of their data from 1 year. And then we go into the trial store dashboard, and it's the trial store performance snapshot. So starting on the left, we have the total sales by month, and it's the control stores versus the trial stores. Trial stores are in the baby blue, and the pink is the control. As you can see, the trial stores were outperformed from February to March. It increased drastically and then started to decrease at the end of April, That's expected. With a new layout, it would increase sales for a while, and then you would expect some a leveling out when customers get used to the new layout and I guess stop purchasing extra chips or whatnot. And you can see here the control stores how it's just been on a decline, and then in March to April, a slight decline again. So it's kind of like flatlining the sales. And this is the total sales by life stage. As you can see here, the trial stores again, same color scheme throughout the rest of these visualizations. Trial stores will be in the baby blue, control in the pink. So the trial stores outperformed through every age segment, even in the new families, but by very slightly. But they performed, and they outperformed the control stores in every segment. Quantity sold by month, trial stores outperformed the control stores in every single month. And total sales by customer affluence. Budget was really close, which wasn't a huge surprise. Figure low income people's spending patterns wouldn't change as much based on their budgets. So if they have tighter budgets, they wouldn't be spending more just because they've noticed more brands or flavors that they haven't seen before. But you can see the increase in mainstream and a drastic increase in premium customer purchases. And I decided to add a bookmark page with additional info. There was more slides that I wanted to include, but I didn't want to smash it all into one report and make it hard to read. So I made an additional info and then my recommendations. So in this piece right here, we have most purchased chips by bag size. So small was the most purchased, then large, and then medium. Potato chip bag sizes, and then the top 5 chip brands sold and their proportions per trial and control store. So we have like Kettle, about $300 more in the trial stores, about $100 more. Smith's actually performed better in the control stores, Pringles better in the trial, and Infusion's about neck to neck on chip by the top 5 brands sold. And then in this one we have repeat customers, trial versus control stores. So again, in the pink is the trial, the control. Trial is in the baby blue. We had more transactions in the trial stores than we did in the control stores. We had more unique member purchases in the trial stores versus the control. We had more repeating customers and a higher percentage of repeating customers. So overall, the trial stores completely outperforming the control stores. And basically, my recommendation here is just breaking it out, some additional facts. Basically saying that they should implement a new layout as it increased sales by 11.8%. Repeating customers increased by a little over 11%. Small bag chip sales increased by $1,000. All demographic groups by affluence and by age group purchases have increased. Total sales are up during the trial period with a slight decline in the month of April. But some, like I mentioned before, some leveling out in sales is anticipated as customers adapt to the new layout. And then a little bit about Store 77, which I'll get more into it when I get to each individual breakdown. So we'll go back to the main page. And then we go to Trial Store 77. So each trial store is broken out with its control store and a little performance snapshot for each. So here, all the trial stores, it's going to be the same graphs, the same layouts. It's just an individual look for each store. Here we have the total year sales, and then the sales in gray is when it's outside of the trial period and in the trial period. So you can see how the sales are trending during the trial period and before and after. So in this, basically, it shows me that sales increased during the trial period, and it was on an upward increase to begin with, but it continued to increase, kind of leveled out in April. But then, interestingly, it continued to increase, and then a slight decrease back to normal, back down to April's levels. So I found this really interesting. Almost suggests that the consumer behavior changed in their purchases, and they started to carry a higher level of purchases even after the trial period ended with the new layout. So this was pretty interesting to me. This is the trial store versus the control store in total sales. As we can see, that the trial store just continued to decline month by month, while the trial store increased and then had a slight decrease. Quantity sold. We have the quantity sold by month, 3 months before, then during the trial period, to show kind of the differences. But the differences were so kind of hard to really tell the difference between each month. So I decided to use a variance by month line. And this was pretty interesting. It really stands out and really shows the difference. So as you can see here, from November to December, a slight decrease, but not much in variance. Then it plummeted in January, which kind of follows the pattern of the bar. And then it increased, it spiked all the way up, and then it came down again. But we're talking variances between tight variances of 0.23 and 0.25. So it looks more drastic, but it's not huge variances. But it's easier to view it with the variance than with the bar. So it kind of supplements it. Then here's the trial store versus control store and the quantity sold. As you can see, the trial store outperformed the control store in every single month. And then here's a little bit about, basically like summarization about the slides. And going on to the next one, this is trial store 86. As we could, again, same formats for each chart. I'll just quickly go through it. Again, sales increased during the trial period, then had a decrease in April, and then kind of seemed to stabilized after at a lower end. So it kind of back, if you look at like December and January, it kind of looks like it's leveling back out to the original consumer spending habits. So it looks like this peak, the layout is actually working and making a difference. Then we move over to the trial store versus control store in total sales. As we can see, the trial store started higher and increased, and then had a sharp decrease to the end of April, while the control store decreased and then had a slight increase. So still outperforming, but by very little. Quantity sold and variance by month. So we can see how the quantity sold increased and then kind of decreased in April, and the variance spike it was pretty much flatlined and only spiked in February, but very small difference in variance, 0.005. And then the trial store versus control store, quantity sold versus the control store, and you can see it outperformed the control store at every month. And then again, a little bit more information, just basically just like a little summary going through it about these visualizations. And then if we go to trial store 88, again, same format, same design, just to keep it easy and simple to follow. So as you can see, again, the trial period was the peak performance, much higher than any other period. Then after the trial period, then they reverted back to the old layout. The sales decreased again, had a slight bump again in June, but the drastic drop. So as we can see, the new layout in trial store 88 definitely good performance for sales volume. And here's the trial store versus control store and total sales. As you can see, it increased and then it had a slight dip again. Typical, or as expected when customers adjust to a new layout. And then you can see the control store, how it declines, and then it continues to slightly decline. Variance wise, there was no variance in the amount of quantity sold, but per customer. But you can see in the bars that it did slightly increase how many chip bags were sold, but the variance per customer, it didn't change by month. And then the trial store versus control store and quantity sold again. As we can see, the trial store outperformed 2 out of the 3 months. In February, the control store actually did better. But overall, if to take away anything from this, and as I had it in the overall trial store performance, in the additional info section, my recommendation is definitely to go with the new layout. And that's it. That's everything. So this was 3 videos. Part 1 was just the Python, and part 1 of the actual internship. Part 2 covers part 2 and 3 of the Forage Quantum internship, which was Python again, and the PowerPoint presentation. And then this is just extra that I did on my own, just to kind of put it together in Power BI, and just to tell a story through visualizations and with some annotations and recommendations within it. So thanks for watching, and I'll probably keep doing more of these virtual internships. I enjoy doing this in my spare time. It's pretty fun and interesting what each company comes at you with to challenge you with. So I'm gonna keep going with them, and I'll keep making videos of the interesting ones, the ones that I really enjoyed working on.